Hello, I'm Ron Irwin.
I'm Richard Perry.
I'm Victor Nwebo.
And we
are the Three Amigos.
We have a very, very special guest in studio today. Robert Lanthier will be joining us in just a couple of minutes to talk about all of the great stuff he's doing with realcowboys.org. You want to find out about this. This is some big, big stuff.
Amen.
And you can be a part of it, and you'll be so happy if you do that. But, of course, we always have a few things to discuss first, including our fine sponsors. And then I want to talk a little bit about 5150, the book and the play that's flowing from that book. So let's get into the sponsorship first.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, for those of you who happen to live in Southern California, you probably noticed that there was a lot of hubbub going around in Burbank area. Happened to be a firsthand witness to that. And, you know, it brings up a very good point of the importance of safety and also having something to keep an eye out when
Are you talking about last night when they had the entire street shut down for 4 blocks and nothing but cops?
Like it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The cops came out, and I saw one load a slug into his shotgun. I saw another guy pull the action on his rifle.
No, this never happens in Burbank.
Yeah, no.
You are definitely going to get a poison pen letter for this. I'm just saying, this never happens in Burbank.
I know. Never, ever.
It happened last night.
Keep it hidden.
So, with that being said, the importance of security and also, once again, just having eyes where you usually can't have them. Say you're going out or you're going on vacation, you want to make sure your stuff is safe. Well, there is one heck of a deal going on right now with First Digital Surveillance. They are actually offering a no obligation, but if you buy 3 cameras, you get 1 more free. And their installation service is top notch. Their camera service is top notch. And on top of that, if you happen to be a police officer or a firefighter, you actually get 10% off. So not only do you get the free camera, but you also get 10% off. That's fantastic.
We had about 400% off on the street last night.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
400% off on the street.
They could use those cameras.
Yeah, so that was one heck of
So how do we get a hold of them first?
Yeah, so what you do is if you want to get a hold of First Digital Surveillance, you call them at 310-901-4954. Again, that is 310-901-4954. Call First Digital Surveillance if you want to get yourselves a couple extra senses of security, some extra camera footage there in case you need it, or if you happen to forget what you did the night before and you want to double check yourself.
Yeah, then sometimes you might want to erase it.
Yep.
Anyhow, you may have noticed it's been cool the last few days.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's coming back.
Oh, yes, it is.
There's going to be another heat wave. Well,
Oh, yeah. So why don't we take care of that, too?
Yeah, we'll talk about our friends at Greater Nation Heating and Cooling. As we always say, they have a deal where they get a regular inspection for $99. But if you mention the Three Amigos, you get $20 off. And this is actually sort of the best time to get an inspection when it's sort of cool and it's right before another heat wave. Our friend Paul Stanley can be reached at the number 818-857-9651. Again, that's 818-857-9651.
Okay, there you go. So thank you. That's for our sponsorship. Now, if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that I have been talking about a book, 5150, the book. Mm-hmm. And a couple of months ago, I brought that book over to the attention of a playwright, and I gave it to her, and she looked at it, and she read it, and she goes, you know what? This should be a one-man show. And I'm like, great, who's the one guy? And she pointed to me, and I go, no, you don't understand. I can write. You really want me on stage? Well, it's so.
Seems fair,
I'm thinking about it.
It's your story.
Seems fair.
And we've taken you through the first little setup where talking about my early life and how I ended up going into the Marine Corps and how my first year in the Marine Corps was unbelievably amazing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had more fun than I thought any human being could have. I'm a PFC in the Marine Corps. I'm going out drinking and partying with Bill Holden, an A-lister in Hong Kong. I'm like, they didn't tell us about this in boot camp. So it was like, we were just having a great time. But then I went to see my commanding officer. Said, if I can stay here for 20, I'm a lifer. He said, get on a plane. And I up back at Shearless Point, North Carolina. We're outside the gate where the civilian properties were. They had signs that said, dogs and Marines keep off lawn. It just didn't feel as much fun.
Right.
It lost some of its glow. And so I found ways to entertain. They had promised me 3 times to send me to flight school in Pensacola. 3 times they came up with bad reasons for me not to go. So I said, to hell with it. I joined the Cherry Point Flying Club and got a private pilot's license. And I could fly my little private airplane. Some people flew F-4s. What do they know? I had a propeller. They just had nothing but hot air. So anyhow, I did that, came myself. But I kept looking, how do I get back? I got to get back to Asia. And I found out they were forming a RAG squadron. This is where they take people of different work skills and put them together in a squad, and they train together. Then they go to where they get broken up and put where they need to be. And where you guys going? We're going to Vietnam. That's in Asia, right? Can I join? Sure, come on. So next thing I know, I'm with a bunch of really nice guys, by the way.
Getting ready for their next vacation.
Yeah. But
Get the
then I
suntan
returned to Asia for the second time. It was a little different than the first time.
Yeah.
Get off the plane in Da Nang on the Air Force side, so they put us in trucks, take us down to the Marine Corps side, which is the ugly side. And they, over there, we go into this big hangar, and they got all this stuff, and they start handing us stuff. 6 grenades, fragmentation, 100 rounds, 7.62 millimeter, 1 M14, 1 M17. Wait a minute, wait, this stuff, you can get hurt with this.
Okay, this is stuff you fight with. What are you doing?
Hey, when do we get Liberty? It's like, go get in that plane over there. Where's that going? Chulai Y? Because you're going to be on it. No. I mean, you knew a lot about Chulai. We were getting news. None of it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get the Chulai, and the next thing you know, they throw us out of the back of the C-130, and it takes off. Like, it does a 180 and just goes. It's leaving us. Like, they didn't want to stick around. There's nobody there. We're like, what do we do? We're supposed to go out here and shoot somebody, win the war, and go home, or what? What's going on? And suddenly across a sand dune comes a truck, and we got to our stuff. I meet a guy. I'm filthy at the end of the day. Got to take a shower. Showers are on the beach. Okay. By the time you get back from the shower, you're still filthy.
Yeah.
Because you had to walk through the mud to get back. We're sitting there having a cigarette, and about 500 yards away, I see tracer rounds. I go, excuse me, but, the guy's, I'd worry. Yeah, it is. It kind of disturbs me. You know?
Yeah.
That's how you know he's been there for too long.
Yeah, I know. He's
Yep.
been through it too long. So I'm finally ready to go to sleep. And I lay down, and I feel a thump on my chest. I open my eyes, and there's this gigantic Vietnamese rat, North Vietnamese rat. I could tell because he had black pajamas. And he was nose to nose looking at me. I went over, I grabbed my bayonet, and about a third of the way through the swing, I realized that it was a bad idea because I was going to stick him to my chest. So I said, okay, you can go in peace, and he left. That was day one. And it went straight downhill from there. And that's what the next part of the book, 5150, is about, is that 13 months in Vietnam and all of the glorious fun that we had, including the fact that I managed to get malaria and dengue fever.
Yeah.
And
at that time, it wasn't 13 months, was it?
no, I was supposed to only be there 3 and rotate out to Japan. But
Yeah.
this fine doctor who, after spending 9 days in the hospital with 106-degree temperature, said, hey, maybe you're a little depressed. I go, no. I'm fine. This is the best holiday I've ever had. So he gives me this drug that's supposed to make me feel good. The only thing is he writes it for 400% more than it's supposed to be. And even at the right prescription, you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So
not
I'm
supposed to
I'm
operate
4
heavy
times
machinery.
greater. We have a guy goes over to one of our A4s and accidentally trips off a 20-millimeter cannon. Everybody hits the deck except me. I'm walking around going, whee! My commanding officer sees this and he goes, you're not going with us. You're too crazy. So that's where that ends up. And we'll just pick up on that a little bit later. Let's move into more fun. 5150, the book. You can go find it at ronerwin.net. I would buy it. It's only like $8. It's a lot of fun. 140 pages of interesting stuff. Whatever.
20% of proceeds go to the VFW.
Oh, yeah, and 20% of proceeds of everything go to help American military veterans for the VFW and Vietnam Veterans of America.
Yeah. Enthusiastic crowd today. All right.
Well, we try to do
They're
that.
ready
Now,
for a guest.
Yeah.
a gentleman, I'm not even sure how we got acquainted, Robert, but we did. And I'm glad we did because you have an incredible, distinguished history, and you have a big event coming up right now, the Silver Spur.
President of the Silver Spur Awards. Yep.
September 21st of this year. And if you like the best of Hollywood, and you particularly like the Western movies and the good old stories and stuff like that, this is something you really don't want to miss. Talk us about it. Robert
Yeah,
Lanthier is our
Robert.
guest. Robert?
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me on this show here. I'm the president of an organization called Real Cowboys. That's REEL, as in movie reel, realcowboys.org. So all you folks out there, you can go online and be able to see all that, and you'll be amazed at what you'll see. We are known in 188 countries around the world, and there's only 196 countries. I don't think we're known in North Korea or Venezuela or anything like that, but that's okay. Maybe eventually we will be. But anyway, September 21st of this year, that's only about 3 weeks away, at the famous Sportsman's Lodge in Studio City, California, I produced the Silver Spur Award Show. This is our 21st annual year. It's a charity event every year. I wish I could raise the money like Jerry Lee Lewis used to be able to do with the telethon. Boy, I'll tell you, maybe someday we will. But it's always a charity event, and the people benefiting this year is the Taurus Foundation that helps severely injured stuntmen and stunt women. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit more of who's coming to be honored that night with the Silver Spur Award. We're going to have Mr. Patrick Wayne. That's John Wayne's son, and deservedly so for him to do the Westerns. He did a lot with his father, and a great guy, a great friend. And his presenter is going to be a wonderful producer-director named Bill McDonald, who's done quite a few movies. He's going to be his presenter. We also honor every year a stunt man or a stunt woman. This year we have R.L. Tolbert, who's going to be honored with the Silver Spur for his contribution to the Western film and all kinds of other films he did. And ladies and gentlemen out there in the world that's listening to this, have you ever heard of a gentleman named Sam Elliott? Well, he's coming. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Well, he's coming that night to be the presenter of R.L. Tolbert. By the way, last year we honored his lovely wife, Catherine Ross, with the Silver Spur, along with Chris Christopherson, Kevin Sorbo, Wilford Brimley, Marguerite Happy, a very famous stunt woman who's going to be the MC this year, by the way. And also we did Barry Corbin. Yeah, Barry Corbin last year. So we have a heck of a show. And by the way, you go online, realcowboys.org, and you go to Video Library, you'll see Chris Christopherson singing 2 songs at our show last year. Moving on, we have the lovely Dawn Wells. Those of you who remember her from the old Gilligan's Island, still a beautiful woman. She's very happy to be honored this year. She did Westerns. And the person that's going to be her presenter is going to be the one and only Darby Hinton. Those of you who are old enough to remember the old Daniel Boone TV series 50 years ago, he was the little cute little blonde boy who played Israel Boone. He was the one that played that part. Also, we have another icon with us that night that's celebrating the 60th anniversary of a classic TV show that is still playing today, The Rifleman, starring Chuck Connors. Well, that night we're honoring Johnny Crawford
Yes.
with the Silver Spur. And a gentleman named Steve Connors, Chuck Connors' son, will be the presenter of Johnny Crawford. Oh. Next, we have, all of you have heard of David Carradine, Kung Fu, and all those great movies he did. One picture he did with his 2 brothers, his younger brothers, Keith and Robert Carradine, was the iconic classic movie, The Long Riders. It was about the James Gang and the younger brothers and the Miller brothers that went to Northfield, Minnesota back then, tried to rob the bank, and it turned out to be bad, and they all got shot up pretty badly. The James brothers didn't get shot up. They're okay. But the recipient of the Silver Spur this year is going to be the one and only Robert Carradine. Robert Carradine, if you remember him in the movie also Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, yes.
Great picture, stuff like that. And he was in the movie with John Wayne, The Cowboys, where John Wayne was a rancher, and his ranch hands quit, and he went to the local school, and he hired a bunch of little grammar school boys to be able to herd the cattle to where they had to go. And it was one heck of a good classic movie. And a gentleman named Richard Gabai, Gabai, he's also producer-director. He did a movie last year called Justice, and Robert Carradine was in that picture. It was a good Western movie. And he's going to be Robert's presenter this year. Also, we have Billy Zane. Billy Zane, for you World War II buffs out there, he played the bombardier in the classic movie Memphis Belle. Mm-hmm. Also, he played a very hard character in Titanic. Mm-hmm. He's the one that was going to marry Kate Winslet. It didn't turn out well. She fell in love with Leonardo DiCaprio instead. But Billy Zane is such a great guy. And also, he had a big part in the movie Tombstone with Kurt Russell and Sam Elliott. Right.
Yeah.
And I met him, by the way, in the later part of June in Tombstone, and I asked him if he'd like to be honored. He said, oh, my God, yes. And as it states right now, he wants me to be his presenter. So I'll be presenting the award to Billy Zane that night. It's going to be one heck of a show.
No kidding.
Yes. Also, we also take care of the veterans. Last year we had some World War II veterans, Korean War, and Vietnam veterans that attended the show last year. One World War II veteran, 96 years old. He was with the 8th Air Force in World War II. He flew B-24 bombers. He was wearing his uniform that night.
Wow.
I mean, he got a standing ovation. A great, great guy. Speaking of the veterans, we have a wonderful lady that's a part of the Real Cowboys. Her name is Julie Ann Ream, and she belongs to the Hollywood support group that supports the Veterans Memorial of America. Every year we hand out medals for celebrities that were in the military. Last year we honored Chris Christopherson. He was in the Army Rangers helicopter pilot, and he rose to the rank of captain. We also honored Barry Corbin, who was a Marine. We honored him, gave him the medal. Also for Wilford Brimley. And the other gentleman that was there last year, how many of you remember the fantastic movies in the mid-'70s called Walking Tall about Sheriff Buford Pusser in Adamsville, Tennessee? It was portrayed by two different actors. The first movie was done by Joe Don Baker, but the last two of Walking Tall was done by Mr. Bo Svensson. And Bo is an immigrant from Sweden, and when his family moved here, when he was 17 years old, the first thing he did was join the United States Marine Corps. And he served for 6 years, raised into the rank of Staff Sergeant. Well, we awarded him that medal also last year. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. This year, we have 5 medals to give this year. The first, there's 2 of them that's going to be posthumous, and they deserve the medal. The first one would be Brian Keith. And receiving for Brian Keith that night, and she'll be there, of course, is the lovely Kathy Garver from the old TV series Family Affair. He had a wonderful relationship with Brian. As a matter of fact, I did a picture with Brian.
Really?
It was called World War III. I played a Russian in that picture, and Rock Hudson was the president of the United States.
Wow.
And Brian Keith and I, we both get killed in the car that gets blown up and everything, but I had that part. I've done movies with Sylvester Stallone, George Papard, people like George C. Scott.
Yeah, George C. Scott, I saw that
worked
on
with him in
there.
it too. Next awardee that night for the medal is going to be the one and only William Holden. That night he's getting his medal. And by the way, as of April...
Yeah.
He was a lieutenant in the Army during World War II, served in World War II. And Brian Keith did also World War II. He was a sergeant. And William Holden, as of April 17th of this year, was his 100th birthday.
Wow.
And the lovely lady that's going to be there to receive the award for him that night, the medal, is going to be the lovely Stephanie Powers. She's going to be there to receive it for him. And then we have, and those of you who remember the TV show Kojak.
Sure.
Well,
yeah.
the wonderful guy, Kevin Dobson, was in the Army. He was a military police officer, and deservedly so. He's getting the National Veteran Memorial Medal that night, too. Last but not least, one of our members of the Real Cowboys, past honoree 2010. By the way, Stephanie was an honoree in 2014, and Patrick Wayne was her presenter. So they're going to be uniting again that night, which would be great. And last but not least, receiving the medal that night is the one and only Mr. Bo Hopkins. Bo Hopkins served in the Army. And by the way, no, there's one more. I forgot. There's one more that's coming after Bo, and I'm very proud to mention it. But Bo will be receiving his tonight. And last but not least, the other gentleman that's going to be receiving the medal that night is the one and only Mr. Paul Sorvino. Paul Sorvino did a lot of great movies, Rocketeer, Goodfellas. I mean, he's an Italian guy, and, he does a lot of great Italian movies. He's a wonderful guy and a true American. And I am proud to say that I share with him. Both of us belong to the Hollywood American Legion Post 43. We're both members of that Legion, and he's such a great, great guy. And some of the other celebrities that are coming, of course, with Sam Elliott, his lovely wife, Catherine Ross, is coming that night. And we've got Robert Crawford, Johnny Crawford's brother, Lana Wood, who is Natalie Wood's sister, coming that night. L.Q. Jones, very famous character, acted a lot of westerns, etc. and everything. And a wonderful lady who got the Oscar when she was a little girl for Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland, the one and only Margaret O'Brien. And another character actor that did a lot of great Western movies. He did a couple of them with Audie Murphy, but also he was well known for a Western called Winterhawk, the one and only Mr. Michael Dante. And also, we're celebrating, as I said, real quick. 60th anniversary of The Rifleman, starring Chuck Connors and Johnny Crawford, but also the 60th anniversary of a wonderful TV show that launched the career of this man, Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen. We're honoring him that night. And, and his son, Chad McQueen, and his mother will be there that night. The last person I want to mention, and it's not that I'm saving the best for last, but this man is an icon, a wonderful man. He's a minister, famous football player. Mr. Rosie Greer will be there that night to give the invocation prayer. So, anyway, if you want to contact me, my phone number is 818-395-5020. Or you can go online sales, realcowboys.org, REEL, cowboys.org. Tickets are the general seating $175, VIP is $200, or the premium seating is $250. Premiums are really close to the stars. And yes, you can have your pictures taken with the stars and then have their autographs. That's what they're there for, to raise the money. And those of you that can hear me out there, please get on Facebook, tell everybody, give them the information. The more money we raise, the more money we give to the veterans and also the Taurus Foundation for the stuntmen and stunt women. And, of course, I can't forget Marguerite Happy, a very famous stunt lady. She's going to be the master of ceremonies this year. I wanted to save that for last. And it's going to be a great show. By the way, all tickets are tax deductible because we're nonprofit 501c3. Oh, by the way, this is always important. You know, there's a lot of people out there in the world that have a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money, and they're going to pay taxes. Celebrities, etc., they got millions. Well, why not write a nice check to the Real Cowboys for $50,000, $100,000? It's all tax deductible. Call me and I'll tell you all the information. All tax deductible, and it goes to a worthy cause. Put the money where it does the most good.
You know what? I love listening to what you're saying in so many ways. First of all, many times I will walk around the neighborhood. I have a hat that says Marine Veteran or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your service. Well, no. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Get to this event. Make a difference. Make a contribution where it matters. Do something that counts. And then how many millions of people every year come out here and go to Hollywood and Highland to see movie stars, of course, none of which are within miles.
Yeah.
They're not going to be. You see some guy with a smelly Superman costume on, okay, and you're not going to be happy, and then you're going to go home and say, well, Hollywood wasn't all that. No. You want to go to the Silver Spurs Awards September 21st, meet real actors, real celebrities doing real good and meaning real thank you for your service and showing up, and you can be a part of it, and it could be a lifelong memory for you and your children and your family. It's something special. It's not all fake BS like you think so much. You hear it in, the stories you hear about the celebrities, and there are a lot of really, I've known John Crawford for several years now. He walked with me one day from Burbank to Hollywood because we did. And stuff like that. The guy's a real man. He's a real guy. And some of these other people, William Holden, he passed away some years ago, but when I met him in Hong Kong, and the way he related to myself and the other Marines that were on the ship, and we partied all night on his ticket.
He was a genuine fella.
He was very real guy, and so many nice people. This is the real Hollywood, both REEL and REAL, that you want to know, not the nonsense you get from the Inquirer or this garbage stuff.
Well, the founding father of the Real Cowboys was Jack Iverson, who passed away in 2004. And if he was alive today, he would be so proud to see how far his organization has gone. And he was a longtime friend of William Holden himself. So they were good friends. Jack Iverson.
It's kind of odd, isn't it? The way that I had this experience many years ago as a young guy, 18 years old. I run into him in Hong Kong, of all places, and now we're talking about him again in this capacity. In this, here's a man whose life extends beyond his life into legend, and it's amazing.
Well, you see, you never know who you're going to be meeting a month from now that may change your path in life.
Exactly.
And, I grew up in Massachusetts as a kid, and the United States Air Force brought me to California. I was stationed at George Air Force Base. But back then, I was watching The Rifleman, I was watching Wanted Dead or Alive, Wagon Train, all those great Western TV shows that had substance. And I hate to say it, the stuff they put out today, forget it. I'm not interested. And I'm glad that their shows are still playing 60 years later. 3 years ago, one of our members of the Real Cowboys, I was watching Wagon Train on TV, and there was Robert Horton. And I get a call on my phone. While I'm watching the show. And I said, hello. And he said, Bobby. He said, this is Bob Horton calling you. What are you doing tomorrow? I said, hey, I'm watching you on TV right now, a show back in 1957.
Yeah.
I said, wow, amazing. I'm watching the show right now. He said, well, come to my house, pick me up, we'll go to lunch tomorrow and it's on me. Now, if I was still living in Massachusetts and watching the show, there's no way Robert Horton would have been calling me.
Yeah.
But because I'm out here and got to know a lot of these big name stars like Hugh O'Brien, Wyatt Earp. 1956, I'm 6 years old, watching TV, Wyatt Earp in Massachusetts. Never dreaming that 50 years later, that man on TV would invite me to his wedding. And sitting next to me on my left was Debbie Reynolds, and on my right was Altavice Davis, the widow of Sammy Davis. I'm sitting there. I can't believe it. I'm sitting with these icons, these people. You never know what the path will take you. But you know what? I thank the good Lord every day that he brought me in this path to be able to do this show, to be able to do this, to make a big impact. Ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be people out there that are going to say, my God, I wish I would have known about this. I would have gone to the Silver Spur. Well, folks, you've got your chance. You go online, you read this, you see what it is. Get on Facebook. Get the word out there. We're selling 500 tickets. That's all we're limited to this year because of the size of the room. But we sell 500 tickets. A lot of benefits will be going for the veterans and for the Stuntman Association, Taurus Foundation. And this is your chance to be able to meet these celebrities that are all in one group. It's one thing to meet one here and one there. That's fine and dandy. But when you're there rubbing shoulders with all of them, you're in your glory. But as a matter of fact, I got people from Australia, Germany, one coming from Finland, England, New York, Canada. Those people, they're all coming out here. When we honored Stephanie Powers in 2014, so many people around the world just came to that show just to be with her. That's a pretty good expense.
That's amazing.
That's a pretty good expense. But that's who we are. That's who we are, the real cowboys. Like I said, 60% of the world's population loves cowboys. They love John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Sam Elliott, Tom Selleck. Tom is at one of our functions, so we hopefully be able to honor him next year. And by the way, next year, because this year is the 60th anniversary of the Rifleman and Wanted Dead or Alive. Next year, we're going to be doing the 60th anniversary of Rawhide and Bonanza.
Oh, yeah.
I'm working. We're going to be honoring. We know the four Cartwrights are gone, and I was a good friend of Michael Landon the last few years of his life. But we're honoring people that were on the show a couple of times, and I'm working on getting for next year the one and only Wayne Newton to come from Las Vegas to appear and get the Silver Spur.
Wow.
And I'm going to be working on getting Clint Eastwood to come because he's the only survivor of the Rawhide TV show.
Yeah,
so
that's
hopefully,
right.
hopefully to get him to come next year to be honored with the Silver Spur Award. He's already got the golden boot, so he needs a Silver Spur to put on that
absolutely.
boot. So he's got that. But like I said, we're the only entity in the world doing this, and if it wasn't for us doing this, there wouldn't be any Western genre, a lot of things. Yeah, we do have rodeos around the country. We have all that great stuff, etc. But that's only limited to those areas. But the real cowboys are known worldwide, and we're getting bigger. By the way, one of these days, in not too distant future, we are going to be a household name because where I'm bringing the cowboys, it's going to be in outer space. I mean, not literally, but it's not. But it's going to be. There'll be a talk. People will be able to talk, and before you know it, we're going to have to go to a bigger building because probably have over 1,000 people coming to
Robert
show.
Lanthier is our guest today. We're talking about the Real Cowboys upcoming Silver Spur event. If you would like to talk to Robert, you can call him at 818-395-5020, or just go online to Real Cowboys, that's REEL, cowboys.org, and get all the information there and buy your tickets and come on down. We'll be there.
By the way, September 12th, 2018 is the last day for mailing checks. It's really crazy. It's a fun little story. I had a couple that showed up last year, and their tickets weren't there. So I said to them, where do you live? Well, we're coming in. We came in from New York City. Okay. What was your method of paying? By the way, you can pay by PayPal too, by the way. Once you go on realcowboys.org, the homepage shows you everything, and it's flashing buy tickets now, and you click on that. You can't go wrong. It takes you right to PayPal. You can't go wrong, all the information. So I asked the people, I said, well, what was your method of payment? Well, we send a check. Well, when did you send a check? Well, she sent it 2 days ago. Hello, it's still in transit. We didn't get it yet. So they had to go out and get cash in order to be able to enter the show. So there you go. They bought 2 premium tickets, as a matter of fact. So when I got their check, I sent it back to them, for them to have their check back in their hands. But
Yeah, but you don't need to hassle. Just do it the right way.
well,
Yeah.
the thing is, if anybody lives in the Los Angeles area and it happens to be September 14th or whatever, you call me. Well, yeah, we'll get you a check within a day or two. No problem at all. Like I said, the show is on the 21st of September. By the way, the doors open at 5 o'clock. There's a major gourmet dinner to sit down. It's a sit-down gourmet dinner, and you'll be entertained. And by the way, I almost forgot. My God, I'm going to get slapped if I don't say this one. The special entertainment that night is a wonderful band that was there last year. And by popular demand, they're back this year, the famous Steve Waddington Band. That's Waddington. This wonderful gentleman can sing and sound just like Neil Diamond. He can sound like Glenn Campbell, Johnny Cash. And he's known all over the country. Steve Waddington Band, good friend of mine. And they're going to be playing that night. They'll start playing at 5 o'clock to 6:15. Everybody sits at the table. And we do the Pledge of Allegiance and God Bless America. And then Rosie Greer will come out and do the invocation prayer. We are real Americans in that country, and we stand up for our rights. We stand up for the rights of the American flag. That's a fact. Never will anybody, when they're doing the Pledge of Allegiance in our organization, will take a knee. Nobody will ever do that. So these are really good American people that love to come and enjoy the show. And it's always the talk of the town when the show is over with. So get out there, Facebook all your friends, make your phone calls, give them the information when you look online. And I want to be able to say, I'm sorry, folks, but we've already sold all 500 tickets. I'd like to be able to do that. We still got plenty of tickets left, and time is running
Well, let's
out.
see if we can get that done this week.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, let's make that our objectives this week. Get it now. I'd like to see this show be responsible for some of this. So get on the line to, realcowboys.org, realcowboys.org, or give our guest, Robert Lanthier, a call at 818-395-5020 and get your tickets. Make your arrangement. Done.
I guarantee you that, a lot of people came last year. They're coming back this year. But I guarantee you that you come to the show this year, you'll say, oh, my God, I got to come next year. You'll wonder what else I can come up with next year. Well, like I said, the 60th anniversary of Bonanza and Rawhide. By the way, folks, in 2015, we did the 60th anniversary of Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
That was one heck of a show. We had a lot of people that showed up that night. I mean, Martin Landau did a few episodes. He was honored with the Silver Spur. Angie Dickinson was honored with the Silver Spur that night. And what's her name? Buck Taylor, who was newly on Gunsmoke. He was there that night, and several other celebrities were there that night. It was just a wonderful show. And by the way, if you go online, of course, and you go to Real Cowboys, we do have DVD sets of the 2008, the 2014, 15, 16, and 17 of the Silver Spur Show. And they're $30 each, and they got hours of entertainment and enjoy to see Chris Christopherson sing last year and all the famous stars in previous years. 2008 was a big show, too. I mean, David Carradine was there, and along with Morgan Woodward. Those of you remember Cool Hand Luke. We also honored that night the lovely, what the heck is her name, Terry Moore, and Ruta Lee was her presenter. In 2014, we honored 70 Powers, Patrick Wayne, and other celebrities were there. But also Ruta Lee, who was a very famous actress. She's still working today. And the one and only Rich Little was there that night to be the presenter for her. And he went to the podium. He was talking like John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart, and he was doing Johnny Carson and Ronald Reagan, and it's just a lovely night. People were just cheering and eating it all up really good. And like I say, 2015, we had Gunsmoke. 2016, we honored Ed Faulkner, who did a lot of movies with John Wayne. Richard Hurd, another great actor. Let's see, who else we had that night? My God. Oh, yeah, we also honored posthumously that night, and deservedly so. Not only did he get the Silver Spur, but he also got the National Veterans Memorial Medal. And it was a heck of a turnout for this man. Mr. Elvis Presley that night was also honored. And yes, definitely. And by the way, those the Silver Spur Award plaque and the American Memorial Medal is resting at the. And also, he got another thing I can't forget. There's a gentleman named wonderful David Valentino from San Jose, who belongs to a major organization, where they have also a special award that they give out called the Golden Spirit Award. It's a beautiful statue, like an angel holding up a lantern. It's called the Golden Spirit Award. Elvis got that night. And also that night, we honored Michael Learned, who was on the Waltons, the mother on the Waltons.
Oh.
And she got that award. And it's not that I'm bragging, but I also got that award that night myself.
Oh, it's
too.
okay. You can
Yeah,
mention that.
absolutely. You mentioned that.
And yes. And oh, my God. Figs, forgive me, my good friend. Another gentleman that's coming that night to receive the... I did mention it. Yeah, Paul Sorvino is coming
Right.
that night. Yes, I did mention that.
Yes, sir.
Goodfellas. He was in that picture. He did a lot of great stuff. The Rocketeer. But he's coming that night to receive that medal, too. Yes, we're all excited. It's getting better and better and bigger every year. Well, it's difficult to compete with the Oscars, but...
Well, I was going to say, you don't need to move to the Dolby Theater. You'll be fine.
Yeah, well, it means I don't want to have to raise the prices, but that's what it costs, a big venue like that. But our prices are pretty fair. The Golden Boot Awards, which ended in 2007, their premium tickets were $500. That's 11 years ago, and that's how much it was. But they had a full house. I mean, big stars you wouldn't believe that they honored. It was a good show, what it was. But they're no longer. So we are the only ones now doing all this great stuff. So
And you can participate.
and that's right. You can come in there, and I'll tell you, like I said, once you get your ticket and you look at the room, you look at the backdrop, you look at everything that's there, and then you'll see, oh, my God, there's Sam Elliott. I wonder if I can get my picture taken with him. Absolutely. He'll go there. He'll put his arms around you and take a picture with him, or Johnny Crawford or Patrick Wayne or Billy Zane or Robert Carradine. I mean, they're all there. They're all there to do that. They're all there to help the cause, and that's what's important.
Perfect. Let's take a quick break from some commercial messages, and we'll get back to more conversation with Robert Lanthier, who's been with us today.
Absolutely. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and kick us off here with First Digital Surveillance. So once again, First Digital Surveillance, and I love the deal that they're offering. Every single time I read it, I keep feeling like it's one of those, you buy 3 wheels, you get a 4th one for free from the dealership. It's fantastic. So what they do here is you get 1 free camera with the purchase of any system with 3 or more, but only when you mention us here. We got to make sure that our friends know that, we're sending them over their way. So once again, you mentioned that you hear about First Digital Surveillance's deal through our show here. They will give you a 4th camera for free on top of the 3 that would be purchased. And also, of course, if you are a police officer or a firefighter, you will receive 10% off as well. Once again, I know we kind of mentioned it earlier on in the show, but with everything that was going on yesterday in Burbank, all that excitement, I mean, I wouldn't mind having an extra camera just to make sure that I have
and
my
I'll tell
back
you
covered.
what happened to me
eye out.
2 weeks ago. I wish we had an extra camera.
Yeah.
When some guy
yeah.
ran over me on my motorcycle.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Allegedly, my
Yeah.
butt. Here, let me show you the alleged. Look at that alleged.
Yes.
But yeah, so something like that definitely comes in handy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
where's the video when you need it?
Exactly.
Yep. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and pass
We'll
on
move
to you,
over
buddy.
and talk about our friend Paul Stanley over at Greater Nation Heating and Cooling. If you mention us, an inspection for your air conditioning is only $79. It's a $20 discount. Again, just mention our name, the Three Amigos, just to let him know we sent you his way. His number is 818-857-9651. Again, that's 818-857-9651.
Okay, great. Now we're talking with Robert Lanthier, who's the president of the Real Cowboys. What brought you into the realcowboys.org? What is it that got you going and got you motivated in it?
Well, in November 1996, the founding father of the Real Cowboys, Jack Iverson, he had another small organization before that, a Western kind. And he started it with his good friend Jock Mahoney. Those of you remember out there, Yancey Derringer and Range Rider back in the 50s. He's also the stepfather of Sally Field, Jock Mahoney. And they started that, and it only lasted a few months, and Jack Mahoney passed away. So in November of 1996, Jack, who was also an animator at Disney, what an artist for cartoons, terrific. And he's the one that came up with the logo. You can't miss it when you go online. It's a movie reel, and it's got a cowboy leaning up against the reel, and you can see a little bit of film strip under his foot. He came up with that idea, and he came up with the idea Real Cowboys with a R-E-E as in movie reel, Cowboys, because it's about guys who worked in Westerns, either director, producer, actor, no matter what, behind the scenes, camera, whatever, that it's about them. So in January '97, 2 months after, well, I met Jack. And we got to talking, and he said, "Why don't you join the Cowboys?" And I did. So I joined, and I said, "Wow, I really liked it." There was only about 10 members at the time. Now we got over 100 plus. So never dreaming at that time, 21 years later, I'd still be with this organization. I've been the president for the past 9 years. I've been producing this show since 2012, and we'll continue doing it. I really enjoy it, and we're quite the organization. And by the way, anybody out there in the world, if they want to, and you go online, and you can email us, you could join the Real Cowboys, by the way. It's only $60 a year dues, $5 a month. And we do all kinds of wonderful things, especially people in local area, Los Angeles area. You can come to our Saturday morning breakfasts at a famous restaurant in Sun Valley called Big Jim's. They got great breakfast, great stuff there. And they're on corner of Sheldon and Laurel Canyon. And you can join us the first and the third Saturday. As a matter of fact, this coming Saturday, August the 1st, Robert Carradine's going to be there, and hopefully Patrick Wayne will be able to come, and Johnny Crawford will be there, and to be able to
I'll be there.
Hobnob. There you go. Ron's going to be there, you bet. And my other two friends here, most likely they'll come. So it's a good organization to belong to. Those that live out of state that can't really come except maybe for the Silver Spur, they're known as sidekicks. And by the way, your picture will be on our membership page. It will be on our membership page. We have some icons, if I have enough time to say. We have some icons that were in our organization. There's a wonderful lady. She passed away in 2010. I've been studying World War II since I was 5 years old, and I used to wonder, who the heck is this woman in the picture? But she was a member of the Real Cowboys. Her name was Edith Shane. Those of you who remember in World War II, the day that the Japanese surrendered on August 14th, 1945, she was the nurse that was kissed by the sailor in Times Square. She was a member of the Real Cowboys. You go online and membership, on our members, you'll see her picture. Another gentleman that we had, those of you who remember the TV show Alf, you probably wondered in the world, how in the world did Alf walk around the room? Well, that's because there was a little 33-inch tall, 28-pound man named Mahali Mazzaros, better known as Mishu, and he wasn't a dwarf. He was proportional. And he was a member of the Real Cowboys until his passing in 2016 of a stroke at 76 years old. Wow. He was a longtime friend of Michael Jackson and Priscilla not Priscilla, but her daughter, Lisa Presley.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because when they were married, he was with them. Mm-hmm. And he was a member of the Real Cowboys. He really loved being with the Real Cowboys. And we have a gentleman, 97 years old. He was a producer-director, did a lot of movies himself. His name is Ewing Lucky Brown, and he's the last survivor of Spanky and Alfalfa and our gang back in the 30s, the Al Roach comedies.
Right.
He was Algernon, and they called him Stinky. He was the rich kid, the rich kid. He wasn't in all episode, but he was there when he was there. And also, for you Western buffs out there and history buffs, his mother's uncle, which is his granduncle, was Pat Garrett, who shot Billy the Kid.
And not only Pat Garrett?
Right. And, by the way, have you ever heard of Bunsen Studios? Well, if you go to Paramount Studios, you'll see some of the manhole covers still have the Bunsen Studios on the manhole covers before it was Paramount. Mm-hmm. Well, Lucky Brown's mother and father owned Bunsen Studios before Paramount Studios. And Lucky is a member of the Real Cowboys, and we love him dearly. And he's 97 years old. And he'll be there at the Silver Spur this year. So you never know what big name or what person that's of prominent history that they're like Edith Shane, she was never in the movies, but she made a major impact on that final official World War II photo. So these are the people we love to have. And by the way, last year, Chris Christopherson told me behind the curtain, but before we went on, he said, "Robert, I really love the Real Cowboys. They're my kind of people because you folks are real."
Yeah.
Not just R-E-E, he says R-E-A-L. You are real folks. Back in 2005, if I may, real quick.
Sure.
We honored this wonderful lady who just turned 95 years old, and we became such good friends. She's a major icon. She stepped up to the podium to get her Silver Spur, given to her by a famous actor who, it'll come to me, Glenn Ford. Glenn Ford's son was there to give the award to her. And when she stepped to the podium, and it's on video, you can't miss it, She said, you know, I didn't know what to expect when I came here tonight, but what I see is love and family in the Real Cowboys. And it was the wonderful icon, Rhonda Fleming, that said that night.
Wow.
Yeah, Rhonda Fleming.
Rhonda Fleming.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. And she just turned 95 years old and still keeps going strong.
Still
Bless
kicking
her
it.
beautiful heart, yes.
Yeah, but I think, the REAL is the important part of this. Everything you've talked about today has been imbued with reality and strength and decency and good people doing good things and people who appreciate it. You can become a part of it. Join the Real Cowboys if you want, or at least go to the event on the 21st. Give our guest Robert Lanthier a call at 818-395-5020. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Or realcowboys.org, realcowboys.org to get the information. And it's one other thing. This is one thing I absolutely, positively guarantee you'll never find on a Starline tour bus.
No, it's
because
not.
it's real and they're not.
Exactly.
Right.
And in fact, real quick, I've been wanting to ask this question the whole show for you, Robert. When you were young, you mentioned you were watching Rawhide, Bonanza, Wagon Train. Was there any particular show that really got you into the Western genre? Just like, was there one in particular where you watched it, and as soon as you watched it, you just went, "That's what I want. I want to be involved with that."
Well, it's incredible. I really enjoyed Wanted Dead or Alive, Rawhide, Wagon Train, and of course, Rifleman. I really loved that stuff. But I've been studying World War II since I was 5 years old.
Right.
And believe it or not, I love these Westerns. I love them. I still watch them today, 60 years later.
Right.
But my most favorite TV show of all time was 12 O'Clock High.
I know 12 o'clock.
And I was a big fan of Robert Lansing, General Frank Savage. Mm-hmm. And then the other show I enjoyed watching was Combat with Vic Morrow.
I was about to say Vic Morrow. Yes,
Vic
sir.
Morrow, you bet. And then the other one, and I own this car now. I've had for many, 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 many years, because when I was 12 years old, I said, I want one of those. Mm-hmm. It's a 1962 Corvette. And I was watching one of my other favorite shows, Route 66.
Oh, yeah.
With Martin Milner and George Maharis.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
Would you
Love that show.
believe
Love that
this?
show.
Would you believe next month George is turning 90 years old?
No.
Unbelievable. We lost Martin Milner 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And last but not least, the final episode, the Nielsen ratings hit the roof. It stayed as a record until Dallas when JR got shot. Of course, they had a bigger population at that time. But the TV show that was so iconic at the time was The Fugitive with David Jansen.
Yep.
Great. Those are my most favorite TV shows of all time. But I do love the Western stuff.
Right.
I'm a cowboy at heart myself.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm going to have the Combat theme song play in my head the entire
by
day
the way,
today.
I may add also that I'm the only guy in the world that makes the authentic Rifleman's rifle and the wonderful Steve McQueen Wanted Dead or Alive gun. And all I ever use is the old antique 100-year-old plus Winchester rifles. I make those. I'm the only guy in the world that makes. I'm making a 60th anniversary commemorative Rifleman's rifle and Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen. I'm making those right now. Only 60 would be made. It's the 60th anniversary, and that's what it is. Anybody out there that wants one, just give me a call.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Robert's a Western
We're talking
purist.
history here.
Yeah.
Not only that. Are you kidding? Having the Rifleman's rifle?
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, definitely. And they're all
Well, next time I go hiking with Johnny Crawford, I'll have to take it with me.
they're all certified. Well, speaking of Johnny, real quick, about 3 weeks ago, we had a picture taken together right at the spot where the McCain Ranch was. It's all gone now. We were standing at that spot, and I got a wonderful picture taken with him.
It's out near Santa Clarita somewhere, right?
No, it's a Malibu Canyon area.
Malibu, okay.
Yeah, right
Okay,
off
gotcha.
of you take Las Virgenes Road. That's where
Yeah.
it's at.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Well,
Okay.
A lot of history here. This is
fantastic.
Okay, well, listen, we've been very blessed to have our special guest today, Robert Lanthier. A lot of good stuff to talk about. If you have any love at all of the history of this country, and if you have any appreciation for the good part of the entertainment world, which is, unfortunately, we tend to hear only the nasty crap, but there's a lot of good out there. This is a time to get involved. Go to the Silver Spur Awards on the 21st. Enjoy it. Have fun. Join the organization if you want.
Yeah,
And what?
Tell your friends.
Tell your friend. Oh, yeah, tell it. By means,
Use
spread the
social
word.
media.
Yep, realcowboys.org, 818-395-5020. And that's real with two E's. Mm-hmm. Like a movie reel. Cowboy.
We'd like to thank everybody
.org.
for listening this afternoon. Y'all have a good one. Check out Silver Spur.
Yeah. You hear?
God bless America.
Rest in peace, John McCain.